What is happening, guys? Today we're actually coming with you with kind of a rumor that's going on right now with the golf community. We saw earlier this month that Grant Horvat officially left Mizuno Clubs as his manufacturer, as his partner manufacturer that he's with. We don't know who his new signee is. We know that it's supposed to be announced at the end of the month. And then, of course, recently we've also seen Micah Morris posting that he's going to be releasing something at the end of the month, having a big information pop up on January 23rd in 6 days, which is kind of interesting to find out that both of these guys have something popping off about the same time. That's usually a sign that something's in the works, especially being guys that have a history of working together. It's probably like Micah and Grant having such a long history being good together. So the question really came up to me. I saw a few days ago actually a post on Twitter, which is always an interesting place because Twitter, if you don't understand by now, Twitter is a place where you will find news pop off and start circulating well before it's actually going to be ever officially designated. Especially when it comes to golf, and this has been a thing with Live Golf. Live Golf has been really, really quiet for quite a while now, and they have their first actual event. If you guys don't know, their first actual event is in Micah, Mexico, at the end of next month. But they haven't really announced anything. They haven't showcased any new logos updates, which we fully expect a lot of new logo updates and team names. We fully expect to see new players, especially being that they're going to actually have a fifth player on each team now, officially designated as a substitute for whenever they have like a need for a substitute, like whenever Heinrich Stenson had vertigo going into Chicago. So, with that being the case, we saw a rumor pop off that kind of made things a little bit interesting, and I didn't really regard it at all, even at first, but then once we started seeing more and more context of, hey, there's a big announcement later on this month, Liv hasn't said anything yet, so this could be a possibility. This guy is another one of these guys that researches Live Golf like I do quite a bit on the internet, and so all of us that were a part of this kind of started talking. He goes, "Hey, just saw something cool from Live. Maybe the first unique cool thing. There are some YouTubers, Grant Horvat, Micah Morris, Garrett Clark, who are going to be playing in an event. This is the closest you'll ever see to getting to see scratch players playing in a tour event." And so, if you look through this a little bit more, the reason why I didn't really pay much attention to it at first. I thought, hey, that's really cool. Was there any link to it? He said he didn't have a link to it, so that's always going to be kind of a rough sign. When somebody doesn't have a link to it, it's always like, oh, I don't really trust that for sure. But what made it, to me, a little bit more trustworthy was the simple fact that right here, he says, I've only seen a little from these guys. Are they scratch? So this is a guy who really isn't familiar with Grant, really isn't familiar with Micah, not familiar with Garrett, that is talking about this. He's not actually like that big, he doesn't really understand. He's not a hardcore simp fan like all of us out there. We're just like, oh my god, new video, we gotta watch. He's just a guy, and he saw this in a Chinese promotional video. So it may have actually been like a video that was circulating around China, like a YouTube fake video or whatnot, which can happen. But the reason why I'm leaning toward this actually being potentially a thing, because again, he doesn't know who these guys are. He's not really aware of these guys. And this is something that we've actually, those of us who are have podcasts in relation to Live or talk about Live or communicate with Live media people sometimes, we've spoken that, hey, this would be really cool to see amateur players having a chance to be out there alongside them as kind of an opportunity to see, hey, just how much better are the pros out there? And can a scratch golfer actually hang? Because there are times when there are idiot scratch golfers out there who are like, man, we could totally hang, bro. Oh, we could totally hang. And you're like, no, you can't, bro. You couldn't actually hang. So this would be an interesting thing. It is a little rough because obviously it mentions Garrett Clark in there. This is posted on January 13th. I'll have the link to the exact tweet thread in the description below. I have texted it to a couple other people as well because I want to have their input on this. But this is something that's interesting. This is different. And if it's actually a real thing, like, kudos on Liv for doing that, because obviously it'll be a really interesting and different kind of thing to see. And then kudos on Grant and Micah for being able to have their influence come about. So so here are some reasons why I think this is possible. Bryson DeChambeau is really popular amongst the Liv circle and the Liv people, and Bryson DeChambeau is very close to Grant Horvat and Micah Morris as far as close as you can be with a YouTube personality. They still do collabs, all that jazz. And, so this could actually be a thing because of that right there. And so, what are you guys' thoughts? Is this complete crock of crap, or is this actually something that could be based in fact? Let me know.